I would normally say another day in Los Angeles, another day in America, but tomorrow I'm gonna try and seek freedom, seek refugee status from Canada. I already look as terrible as possible, so things can't get any worse. But I've had enough of PTSD triggers by people who clearly are doing it on purpose. I'm tired of people camping out outside my hotel to keep me from going inside my room. I'm tired of people jumping out their fucking doors toward me. Now, is it the threat, the menacing that makes me say I don't want to be an American anymore? Yeah, it is. I understand on some level that, this is that LA magic, that thing that makes you write that hit song, the thing that inspires you to take that next role as an actor, except I'm not an actor. I'm barely a musician. So it is effort wasted because I'm just a disabled veteran who has been scared and frightened for 5 years since I've come to the West Coast. So I have enough evidence. I have plenty of evidence of clear PTSD triggers that are beyond suspicious, beyond ordinary. They're orchestrated, they're planned. It requires several people in order to do that. Several people that had to use cell phone technology in order to do it. So from Canada, I'm going to ask for records of these people and let my international lawyer handle it from there, because that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to speak to the United Nations, inform them that I have been a victim of human rights violations. Not only have I been sexually abused by the American government, but they continue to torture me. Why should I stay here? Who would stay under such conditions? I'm sorry, it's not for the food. It's not for the hot men. So what does America have to offer me? Oh, is it some freedom? Tell me where that is. Tell me where that is when you derailed me off a fucking train. So I ended up in Seattle having to spend more money than I've ever had to spend before. So there is no other choice because now I can't afford housing for myself. Now, can I get an apartment? No, I can't get an apartment. Do I want to go to a homeless shelter? I'm a disabled veteran who's 100% disabled. I don't need housing. I need the ability to say, you know what? I'm uncomfortable with that situation. Let me leave. But America has decided, you know what? If we rob you, and by rob you, I mean take you off from where you were going, your destination. So therefore, there would be no other recourse for a regular person than to seek shelter, than to pay for food for yourself. So no, no, I'm done. I'm done. You can keep your America. You can keep it. You're not getting any better. You're just getting worse. The crime rates are high, and nobody gives a shit. I do, which is why I say no. Canada isn't any better than that. But at the very least, if I'm speaking to an immigration lawyer, if I'm speaking to a human rights lawyer, that puts things in a different perspective. That puts me in a place where, yeah, they might have to, somewhat detain me as a refugee while they check all my facts, check my story, all that. I'm going to be extremely uncomfortable, but, I'll play video games while I wait. I don't care. I'll pull out my Lenovo Legion Go and, I'll play Diablo. I don't know. But I'm not going to stay in a city or a state or even a country that says, you know what, you were uncomfortable. So we're going to pretty much rob you by placing you in this situation where you can't afford any of this. So that's what it is. I tried. I really tried. I tried to make a difference here. I tried to uplift and support my people because I believe that public health is the most important thing. I believe that a universal income would help people because you don't just want poor people on the street, you don't want poor people in houses. People are poor and starving in America, but they don't realize it. But then you look at their health, and their health is so bad. The health is so bad because they don't have a fruit and vegetable allowance. They can't do that. So instead, they get Twinkies, Yo-Hos, I don't know, Monster energy drinks. Yeah, gotta get that energy, man. But every time they do that, their health kind of fades because you can only stimulate your adrenal glands for that much. You can only do that for that much without there being some sort of health deficit because of that. And you know what? While I'm here, while I'm walking about, why don't we talk about the health deficit that the CDC allowed to happen in America? They allowed the health of average Americans to decline mostly because an aversion to vitamin C. These people don't want to eat oranges. They don't want to drink orange juice. They don't even want to drink pineapple juice and make their cum taste better. So, you know what? When a virus like COVID comes through, there are less people who are resilient. There are less people who can have a natural immunity to it. So the virus itself would mutate further. And America profited off of that. They profited because you had to buy masks, you had to buy gloves, you had to buy sanitizer. Oh, it was a bailout for so many people, so many things, but a lot of people cashed in. Do you really want to live in a country that says, you know what? Public health is not a public good. It's just cockroaches. I'm tired of living in a country that says smog and pollution is an environmentalist problem. It's not an everyday problem. Except, didn't you people burn down those California forests? Didn't you? Because it was so goddamn hot, because of every single car that you own, that the poor earth couldn't say, you know what? I could rain. I could. But you know what? I'm so hot and turned on right now. There's nothing gonna flow down these lids. Nothing. So, you know, America, you just do me wrong. You do me wrong. You do me wrong. I try for you, but I'm not gonna cry for you. I'm just gonna leave. Last time I checked, if someone disliked or disagreed, they had the right to bounce. So you may think you have fucking nickel and dime me by shoving me in this disgusting bougie ass city, but I'm just gonna fucking leave. Go to Canada, be a Canadian rock star. Fuck it. Maybe even act in a Canadian television show. I don't think Instant Star has been on the air since its initial run. Maybe they need to bring that show back. Maybe they need to have 10 more shows like that. I don't know. Canada has a lot of talent. Probably the reason why I'm so talented because I listen to the music all damn day. So that's all. You know, I don't expect a lot of people to understand or care about the plight of one veteran who's an environmentalist trying to save America, Canada, and the rest of the world. But that's it. You know, I'm not going to give up on America. I'm just going to save myself from the trouble, save myself from all this bullshit because I want to build a better world for my children someday. I don't know these kids, but when I have them, I want them to breathe fresh air. I want them to be able to go to school and not have to worry about a gunman coming into their classroom. Oh, yeah, that's the one other thing that I was supposed to talk about. Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you, America, that you just see that as a gun issue and not a community health issue? The anger, the rage, the loneliness that you Americans have is disgusting. Like, honestly, seek therapy or something. But at least if you did, you would recognize a problem. You don't seem to recognize there's a problem. Those school shooting incidents that keep happening are a symptom of a larger issue. The larger issue being everyone is unhappy, they're unhealthy, and they feel unheard and unloved. And that shouldn't be. I don't care how ugly you are or how talentless you may feel at sometimes, but if your country can't take the time to say you belong here, that you are a vital member of our country, then I just don't know why I would be a part of a country that devalues people. So here I go again on my own. I'm going to try my hardest to make it this time because last time, I don't know who the woman was. I mean, if she was CIA trained, I, wow, I didn't know they're pulling out those kind of people. But the fact that it was so organized that it was right before Seattle, not as I was leaving Portland, but right before Seattle, that they pulled this crap. That just makes me say, if you have the energy to do that, but you don't have the energy to put air filters on some of these cars and trucks, then what am I supposed to do except say, you're wasting your time harassing me? You're wasting your time when you really need to be fixing your country. Like, you live here too. You live here too. Like, I'm trying to talk to the people who've been harassing me. Don't you realize that you live here too? Now, I know that you were all fucking ugly ass super nerds growing up, and now you're big shot actors or big shot musicians, but you still have to breathe the same air. You still have to walk down the street with your kids, and you live in a war torn country, the war being the war on poverty, the war of poverty. You don't expect these poor people to want to fucking rob you? You don't expect these poor people to be disgruntled all the time? Yeah, that's what's happening. It takes so little to feed a person. It takes so little to house them. If they took 2 seconds, 2 seconds to care and say, you know what? The idea of housing in America has to change because everyone's thinking of a giant fucking building like that. A giant fucking building instead of saying, you know what? Maybe homeless people just need tents. Maybe Americans would be happier if they lived in a fucking tent, but they knew that when they went to sleep, they'd wake up in the morning. Sort yourself out, mate. Sort yourself out. There are things that I can put up with, and there are things that I cannot. America has been a mess for too long, and politicians, they don't have time. They don't have time. And every time a village leader comes around that says, let me do the job that you do for more money for free, because I live here and I want to be able to sleep at night. You send the goon squad to either terrorize them or just convince them that it's not worth their time, not worth their effort. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm really there used to be heroes in America. There used to be heroes. You used to want to be a hero too. But now there's just this people so scared by the news, so scared by the world outside that they're not a part of it. They're not a part of anything. The time it takes to be a decent person to do the right thing, infinitesimal. But like I said, I'm homeless. I went to City Hall to talk about how I was treated. No one was really there. I made a phone call about ADA assistance. No one was there. Why should I stay in your state, Washington? Why should I stay when a disabled person cannot get assistance for what is clearly an ADA violation? Oh, that's right. I'm brown. Okay, okay. So I have no rights here in America. Why would I stay in America when I have no rights here? All I'm going to do is just aimlessly walk around. It's my last stay here, so I'm going to walk around and talk about these issues while looking terrible because I'm not a hero. You know, I'm that indigenous person that says you can do better, you deserve better. I'm not a hero. I'm just a person who says crime would plummet if people realize that the police have been doing the job that you should do. That's right. Thin blue line means something a little different when you have your skin in the game. So on I walk. There's your city hall right there. City hall that didn't help me at all. Oh well. Have a nice day. That's all. Just keep moving. You keep saying you don't want Trump as a president, but you don't even think about what comes next. Do I want the job? No. But should I stay and fight for the job? I don't know. I would, but I don't think anybody wants the homeless person to be their president, even though the homeless person has a better space program, can balance the economy, and I don't know, restore American health all within the first term. See, that's the real reason why they're trying to scare me off. They don't like the idea of people of color wanting a little bit more political power, not just for themselves, but for the country that they have to live in. Thank you so much, City Hall, for doing nothing for me. I mean, what do I expect them to do? You know, I pretty much get stranded here. There are no resources. You got money here. You got money. There's no resources. There's nothing to help me. What would have helped me is if I just left immediately, but I said no, no. So shame on me for that. I think we'll leave City Hall behind. Doesn't seem like they do anything these days. Okay, right away. Do I want to live in Canada? No, not really. Canada isn't perfect. And if I'm not a citizen in Canada, I will pretty much have to say, you have to do whatever you decide is right for your country. I can suggest, but I don't want to overstep my bounds as a guest by telling them that it's disrespectful to indigenous people that heating oil was used to pretty much poison the people of Suzanne Creek, the Mohawk tribe. Sure, it was an industrial accident, but then why is Canada still using heating oil? These are the questions I think Canadians should ask, not me. But Canadians get busy. And if you're not Indigenous, then why would you care? By the way, hello there, multiplayer. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the revolution. My name is Ian Iliona. I am celebrating my last day in America by doing a walkabout and talking about all the issues that make me want to leave America. I haven't even gotten into gay rights. I've been gay bashed in America several times throughout my life. There wasn't a time when Americans didn't hate gays like me, didn't allow me to express myself at all. Growing up, listening to Madonna, listening to Katy Perry, thinking one day, you know what, I'll have a music career of my own. Nope, they threw rocks at me, they tortured me. But still, I said, let me, let me. Let me join the military. And I joined the military and I was sexually abused there. Was there any due process of that law? No, no. Took me, hello, hello, hello. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. It's just like free press is still an issue. And I still look fucking hideous, but I guess I'm not trying. But yeah, I was talking about gay rights. Not just the right to marry. How about the right to not be punched in the face while being called a faggot? How about that? But America doesn't want to change on that. They think that those things are both being investigated by the police every time a gay person is bashed, every time they are harassed, every time they are assaulted. And the gay people themselves, cowards, because they don't say, well, we need to do our own investigation. We need to start asking questions. We need to, I don't know, maybe support one another through this ongoing crisis where we're being hunted by straight people to be assaulted for loving another man as a man or loving a woman as another woman. So, yeah, I just feel super uncomfortable living in America. Is Canada going to be better on that issue? No, no, it isn't. So, why even bother going to a country that you know is not going to be as supportive or even supportive of being gay? Probably because Canada is not the goal, it's the stepping stone. Speaking to the United Nations on behalf of gay people worldwide, now that actually might be something that aligns more with my goals. My goals of trying to save every single gay life. Because you don't know if a gay person is trying to find the cure for cancer. You don't know if a gay person is trying to restore public health. You don't know if a gay person is just trying to give you a sandwich in the middle of the street when you are starving and about to fall down on the ground. You see us as super happy, flamboyant people. You don't see us as doctors. You don't see us as the lawyers that make sure that you have justice when justice was ignored before. You don't see us as teachers, inspiring not only your children, but you, because when they learn something and you see their good grades, do you ever thank the gay teachers? Do you ever say, Thank you for helping me do the job of raising this child into a adult that I would be proud of. No, you take for granted that these teachers put everything on the line for your kids, put their lives on the line for your kids. And if they're gay, well, how is that your business? I'm sick and tired of being around gay people who think that any discrimination against us is okay. I don't care what state it is, everyone should be involved in that. Everyone. So here I go. Here I go. I'm walking around this cold, disgusting, bougie ass city, which I didn't want to be in. That didn't help me when I asked for ADA assistance. Didn't help me at all when I wanted civil rights assistance. I deserve better. Sorry, I'll try that again. I deserve better. So I have to go to Canada in order to reach the United Nations because there is no reaching the United Nations from America. They just expect you to suffer through it. Expect you to either suffer through it or find the spot that sucks the least and then say, either I have to find the love of my life in the place that sucks the least, or I just have to put up with a broken system with broken people that live in it. No, thank you. America needs help. It needs intervention. The United Nations, they have to do a lot more. Yeah, let's do that. Come on. So, yes, I am looking to retain an immigration and human rights lawyer as soon as I am in Canada. So, if anyone would like to champion my case, I will be arriving in Vancouver and I will immediately need a lawyer. So, if you can ahead of time, maybe send me an email. My name is Ian Iliona, IANXILYANA @gmail.com. If you'd like to represent me as a human rights lawyer and immigration lawyer. Thank you to all my fans for all your support over these these past podcasts. It really meant everything to see that I had some regulars that would come and support me. Please continue to do so and support yourself. If you are in any way unhappy or dissatisfied with how your country or your state is treating you, then you have to speak up because you live here too. You matter. My name is Ian Iliona. I'm an environmentalist. I'm a human rights activist. I'm a mutant. I'm a werewolf. I hope to see you on the next podcast.